All right.
Well, we're not live yet. We got to do our intro, guys. We'll be right back. Hello and good evening and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Yes, indeed. How is everybody this fantastic evening? Hot, I'm sure.
Yes, Lord. Absolutely.
I am sure it's been a hot one. You said that last week, didn't
you? Yeah, about that time, still that time of the year.
Yes, it is.
You know, August is the hottest month here.
It is. It really, but you know what? It's okay because I always look at it. It's like fall is around the corner, and it will be with us before you know it. It will definitely.
It'll be our version of fall because you know we don't get everybody else's version of fall.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true. I wish we did. You know,
it would be nice, but you can't put on a sleeve, and you always can get a nice little jacket, or sweater, or something you can put on.
Yeah, this is true because you know how we are. We like our coats and our jackets and the sweaters and and all that. Being fashion forward, that's the one thing I did love about winter is that you can be real fashion forward. Sweaters and everything. That part I do miss. I mean, and just going up to the top. What is it? In Northern California, just for an hour or two is not going to do it. Or to have it just for that.
I think we got to let Charles in.
I think I did. Let's see. There we go. All right. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to it. Man, oh man. So welcome, D. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing all right. This week has been a week. It was a good week and it was a busy week. I became partner in my job, so it's it's a lot of work.
Okay,
it's a lot of work, but and then it's so freaking far to go to work. I go almost an hour and something to work every day, so it's a commute. But it's been a blessed week. What about you guys?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's been work. It's been a lot of work every day. My days are so crazy in the way I'd get up early in the evening. I don't even get up in the morning, in the evening, and stay to about the evening, as long as the afternoon.
Well, evening,
so as late as the afternoon, I'm back home. So those are my days. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I look it right now because it's all over my face.
Yeah.
This is a day off for me. This is my Friday, and to be honest with you, the days off go by. The days that I'm off, they go by so fast.
Yeah.
So honestly, it doesn't feel like a day off or 2 days off. It just feels like, okay, I'm off and I'll be back in the truck, driving from where I'm driving.
I think about it as well. It's just like, is it really? Nobody really has a day off. Or days off anymore.
Nobody can afford a day off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it could have been something to pay you, it's just that by the time you get in and get mentally settled for whatever else has been going on, then it becomes more of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So we really don't get that actual day off that we deserve. Or days off. Because honestly, it should be at least 3.
Why we so busy trying to figure out who's blacking up and who this and who that.
Baby, listen,
these policies is going to help us in the vein of trying to make money without having to work the way we work or having to have 2 to 3. Who is going to help us with that situation of not having to work 2 to 3 jobs just to pay rent?
Well,
that would be nice. No, for real.
What this week has gotten on my everlasting nerves is people not knowing, and I say people, I say us especially, not knowing the logistics of strategy.
Right.
It has worked my nerves this week because it's just the ignorance and the stupidity of people. With the whole factor of Atlanta, her VP, when she went to Atlanta and she invited Meg to the show. One, you're in a predominantly African American young people town, entrepreneur, all types of stuff.
I got my opinion about that, but go ahead.
The thing about it is this: it was a great strategic plan because of the factor of this. She's trying to reach the voters who don't vote, the young people. We watch the news. We know what's going on.
Right.
So guess what? If I have young people who don't watch the news, when they're on social media, they're not going to listen to the factor of you saying anything about something political. Why not get them in the arena and turn around and be able to tell them, give them a show, but tell them what they need to know? Guess what? All they needed was Meg there to say, "Hey, I like her. She all right. I'm gonna give her my vote," and that's what's happening. They joined the train to be able to say, "Hey, let me keep on following and seeing what she's saying." It was just a strategy for the young people. It wasn't for the older people because we're so stuck in our way we can't see past what's right here. And I think that's the problem with right now, and why we're having such discourse and disconnection is because a lot of the older people, we are so caught up and stuck in the way that we think that things should be, or this how it need to be, and you got to do it that way, and we got to do it that way, and that's why you see people looking like the Republican side, how they look. You don't see laughter, you don't see smiling, you don't see anything. You just see a bunch of negativity. On her side, you see these young people amongst young, old, white, black, Indian, whomever, all together laughing, having a good time, because that's what she promotes. On top of telling the people, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, we're going to have to make sure we do this, we're going to have to make sure we do that, or whatever the case may be. I think that, but we get caught up on, child, she had Meg there, and Meg was doing this, that, and other. Meg was there to do her job. And her job was to bring those young people and pack out that arena.
Right. Good. Hey, I completely accept your point. Not that I agree with you, but but I do accept your point. One of my good buddies is watching this tonight. He blasted me on my Instagram on my friend Norris. He didn't blast me, but he gave a great point because he's in the same age category that I am, and most of us that he brought out a great point, such as that you did, Darnell, and what your expression. My thing is, okay, hey, we get it. I mean, we understand that she was bringing in a certain element of different criteria, if you want to put it, and all of the different things of that nature. My major problem with it was, okay, you gotta, but you need to shift the presentation, okay? And at least, now here's two things. This is the opposite side of my thought, okay? I understand where you point. This was a time also for Meg to step up her game and bring it a little bit more different. Okay, because the twerking and she's going to say the same message without the twerking and the ass shaking. Okay, to me, it would have been a little bit more conducive or professional in that sense, because I'm looking at it from my perspective. I'm looking at it as, hey, this is our potential president. I don't think that I really want to see on Inauguration Day, Meg or whoever it is on the Capitol twerking. I'm sorry, I just ain't gonna see it, and I don't want to see that.
Well, all right. I don't think she would be at the Capitol. I think it was just a ploy for Atlanta.
Right. No, I get it. And so my thing is just like the message would have still been her essence and the message. If she would have came out, my opinion, she would have came out, gave a great positive message to this young people. Say, hey, y'all, I am with Kamala. This is my girl. She down. She whatever. Her language would have been. And it would still been just as effective and not necessarily performing in the manner in which it was. Now, I wasn't there. All I did catch was what was displayed out on Instagram and these different, social media posts. So that's just my thing. I just think that it was an opportunity maybe to shift it and maybe send a different message rather than the consistent lunacy that's out there. I understand they like it, but that lunacy ain't gonna, if Kamala don't win, okay, that lunacy ain't gonna keep you from, standing in a soup kitchen line if Trump gets in office. All right. So the reality of that is that you still need the facts of the potential. If you're not voting for her, what could happen? You need to know that it is important to understand your political level And again, I'm again speculating here, all right, this point, because I wasn't there and I don't know what all was said. But from the comments that I got back, not from me directly, but from the ones on the post, was like, whoa, this is a little bit too much. Come on, Kamala, blah, 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 blah. So it is a give and take. And I get you. My main point was what I just stated, and I think it could have been a little bit more tamed down rather than that. It's just, in my opinion, it's not the right environment for that particular behavior. It's just not. But go ahead.
I felt some type of way too, and to be honest with you, in the beginning, I felt like it was just a little too much. I always say for entertainers, for anybody who is doing something for the public to know their audience. And you know what? I know Megan Thee Stallion, her music it's all about twerking. It's all about the club. I have no problem with that. Now, there is no issue with that. But, at the end of the day, I felt like it was, I felt like it was a little too much. But in the scheme of it all, I understood why she did it. And the reason why she did it, because she was telling the crowd telling the women of the crowd that if you love your body and want full autonomy over your body, you would do this with me. And she went into the twerking business. But the thing about it is, though, and this is just me, my thing was, I wish she would have taken a different approach. Probably for me, I wish she would have came out a little bit more on the speaking realm and the rapping realm with her explaining why she was for full autonomy over women should be over full autonomy over their bodies. And when it came out with something totally different than a choreographed twerking performance.
But she did. I saw I watched the whole entire debate. She did. I think that's why I said in the last show, sound bites will make you think certain things.
Yeah. And to be
because
honest,
you don't get the full logistics.
Right.
Yeah. But at the scheme of it all, with Trump's rally, they had Hulk Hogan rip open his shirt.
Right.
They had Kid Rock hopping the stage podium.
Right.
So as much as I sat back and I really thought about it, I said, in the scheme of it all, she is trying to reach a base of people who need to be informed. But it's so sad, and I think it's just me. I'm this is why I feel like my conservative side kicks in. I think it's so sad that at the end of the day, you have to twerk to get the attention of a certain demographic of people who never needed that in the first place. Now, that's just me. I'm not even going to throw off on Megan. I think Megan did a good job. I think, honestly, I am surprised that she, out of all the artists that could have been there, should have been there, was there. I give her that.
Well, she was. So the greatest gift about that visit with Atlanta is this. Everyone knows that Atlanta is the state that can make and break you. Georgia is the state that can make and break you.
Yeah.
Georgia was turned over by Biden, and that's how he won. That was one of his big main factors.
Right.
Trump had made it where, therefore, Georgia was rooting for him. But her strategic plan was this. Yeah, Georgia was rooting for you. These was old heads who don't want change, who can't see anything different. But let me get to the demographic of these young heads who has never voted. That could push me, skyrocket me. Because it's more of them out there than the old heads. So we're bringing Meg in, or whatever the case may be. Meg is someone who, therefore, a younger generation can relate to. Yeah. You'd rather have her than have that turn around and have Sexy Red out there on the stage.
Always.
Talking about some bow, 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 bow. But I have to ask people this. What if Janet Jackson got up there on the stage and did Would You Mind? How she normally doing her concert and how she had a man and she straddled them and kissing them and rubbing all on them. Then you're going to still have something to say. It's really kind of, for me, I just say, I think it's no pleasing people. Or whatever the case may be. I think we taking our mind off the focus of the actual message that was put out there and putting it on the factor of the negativity. And I was having this discussion with someone about a few days ago, and I was saying, I wish that we, as in people of color, would stop putting so much negativity on the things that we do and criticism on the things that we do.
Yes, and I understand your point there, okay? Because but the problem is that we're
more than just what that little clip of her twerking. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Because that was the only thing that was highlighted out of everything that she did that day. That was the one piece. See, that's the thing that boggles my spirit about mainstream media and about social media. One little, like you said, it was just a soundbite of her doing what she was doing. But that was the only thing that had exploded out of everything she had done. Right. And that is my issue with the whole entire thing, is that one little clip would have set anybody off. Because, and I'm trying to, go ahead, Jay. I'm so sorry. But that was the one thing I didn't notice and see out of everything that she done was that little bit, and then she went into doing what she was doing. I kept saying to myself, why? What was the point? But why?
Oh my gosh, our engineer.
I didn't mean to do that. I said, why?
Trying to go to break.
Took us to a commercial before we went to commercial. But anyway, so no, my point is, I get it. I get it all. You know, I mean, I understand what you're saying that very, very wholeheartedly. Now, this could lead us into another discussion about what I feel personally that particular music community has created a whole nother world, you know, for what is we consider the African American community, which I do not like. Okay, and I will say that in any arena, because that is not what we represent. Okay, that is not the dignity. That is not all of those things that I believe that our ancestors fought for. You know, to be in that position, to display themselves in that manner. That there's a crowd for it. I get it. Okay, and what I'm saying is not like I don't get it, but then there's got to be a place where there's a time and a place for everything. Okay, and that will never change at the end of the day, regardless of who's there and who's not there. And if you can't put the club aside for a moment to get the right information that you need, okay, and it has to come through twerking. I mean, come on, really? I mean, let's really think about that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and what has happened in the scope of everything, you know, about that, we found that we have lost our true essence of the BET Awards, because it's no longer the BET Awards. Okay, it has become the BET Hip Hop Award. Okay, which again, that's a genre of music that people are like, I don't care for it because of what it has done to women and what it has done to the community, and it continuously speaks to that. So my thing is, like you said earlier about the woman empowerment situation, I get it. Okay, these girls are owning their body. But owning your body does not mean that you have to be putting it on public display. You don't have to be talking about what goes on in your bedroom, okay? Because you don't like nobody else talking about what's going on in their bedroom. So we don't need to know all that, okay? If you do what you want to do with your man, let it stay with your man. It don't have to be displayed on a stage. And the essence of where this comes from, which we know, is out of the strip club. All of them. Out of a strip club. So I don't want my granddaughters, you know, following that type of stuff. Okay, at the end of the day, now it could be, you can consider me an old head at this point, then consider me an old head. I just think that there's responsibility in knowing things. And when you have a generation right now that does not understand the levels of responsibility about their own life, and you got this woman twerking up on the stage, okay, just saying, because that's the soundbite that we saw. My last one about that soundbite. You see, the soundbite is what went over. Okay, the soundbite is what's going to be trailing this campaign. That's going to pop up. That's going to say every kind of thing in the world, because you know that's what that Donald Trump side of people going to take it and start using it against her, which we don't want that to happen, okay? Because it throws another thing in the media that we have to contend with, you know, at the end of it. And then with this clowning on, calling out her name, calling out, saying she's not black, and all these other type of things. So again, we got to think about two sides of this as this discussion, you know, will continue to happen. We're gonna move on, but you know, is what does this set for a future opportunity? I get it, these young people, yes, but the masses, the masses. And what we'll see that more so than them, I don't know, maybe 1,000, 1,500 young people that was there at the end of the day. I get it. But trust, they're going to take those sound bites and they're going to take that and they're going to, when we get closer to the election, you're going to find it all over. Kamala Harris, aligning herself with dirty rappers. And you see, this is the type of person you don't want, and all that type of crap. But anyway, go ahead. Last point.
My last point was, I not hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. But you know what got me was when everybody kept saying, well, at least it was her instead of Billy Porter.
I would feel the same way, honestly.
That was the sentiment everybody kept saying.
I would feel the same way. I mean, because y'all know my opinion about, hey, Billy Porter's very talented, and all those things. We're not going to get off on Billy Porter, but it's too much. Some things are just too much. Okay, and you have got to ease people into certain things. And at the end of the day, I think that we can all grow gracefully together. But when you throw something in somebody's face, they're going to back off. And typically, that community that we all represent, they're the number one chiefs at speaking against situations like that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But like you said, with Billy Porter, Billy Porter would have come there with his avant-garde on and all that. I would have been, oh my God, this is way too much. Because I think it's way too much even for national television when he's out there. Everybody says he's owning his truth. Owning your truth does not mean you have to go over the top. Okay, owning your truth is standing your truth. Whether if you got a suit and tie on or you got some shorts on, owning your truth is not having all of the extra. That's not owning your truth. Owning your truth comes from what's coming out of you. Okay, and not what you're putting up.
Well, that furthermore says the factor of the reason why we are Democrats. We live in a country where we can be free to be whoever we want, and it shouldn't be in a place where somebody else can tell us what we should do and how we should do it. You have your opinion, and somebody else have theirs. Right. So that's how it goes with it.
Well, and I agree. It's not the purpose of necessarily telling, okay, but it is a social standard, okay, of where things are. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And
but JB, you have to think about this. This shit ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing that's going on is nothing new. All this shit, think about it. Back in the day, when you go on back in Dallas, but you being a history buff,
right.
You go back to the music was the same. They were doing ain't nothing changed. So that's why I tell you, we beat down this generation now, but nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is therefore you just have people who put on a little bit more clothes than what they did back then. That's pretty much it.
And again, very valid point, but there is a slight difference. Okay, at the end of the day, there is a slight difference. Number one is that you didn't have information right in front of people's faces. Okay, at the end of the day, it was not broadcast at you, so you did not have a social media platform that everybody said. Now, we go back to the worst rapper that started all this shit was Luke. Okay, and the things that he had going on were horrible. I had a cousin that worked for him, and stuff that he did with women and things like that at concerts and stuff. So I get it. Now, I'm not saying that it hasn't, displayed or whatever, and it's some horrible stuff that they used to do with women on there. But where do we say it is socially acceptable for everything to be acceptable? There has to be a guideline. There has to be some levels of if you might just run red lights. You might as well just not have any boundaries or anything. Boundaries are good to a certain extent. Now, how do you, because you become a free for all, and we are certainly not in a democracy of free for all. At all. This is not a Republican or Democrat. Republicans just push another image of it and try to put it on Christianity and morals and all that. There is a moral compass that everybody should have and should be operating in. How you govern that is a different question. But if you're not having the right information on that or being able to process it different, then you're going to go all to the extreme. Maybe these people don't understand, like you brought up Sexy Red a minute ago. It's horrendous. Okay, in my opinion, it is horrendous. And to have someone that has gone to the extreme like that, we're not going to talk about her tonight, but it's just because you mentioned that, to that extreme, to sell music. It ain't necessary. If you got talent for rapping, great. Don't nobody want to know how you want to lick, stick, and stip it and ride it and glide it and everything else. That's your personal business, and leave it there. And you gotta respect those that don't understand that or don't want to understand that. Then we could go in layers and layers of, you and I talk about this all the time. We can go in layers of that's out there in society at this point. But where is our standard? As human beings, we have to have a standard.
Of course, exactly. And I think it's just like one of those things where therefore that's just like you liking filet mignon and I don't like it. I don't eat filet mignon and I just don't buy it. It's my it's my preference. It's what I choose to have. I can't down you for not liking it. I just it's what you like, you know. So I think that's where we have to learn to get with people. Learn that factor though. Hey, this is what you like, and that's it. You know, and instead of trying to this is what you like, but to still want to put our input on it.
Well, okay, and you brought up a great point. Let's use your filet mignon example. You know, with that, I know you got a point. But filet mignon with that is that okay? You like it and I don't like it. Okay, I'm not a beef eater, but guess what? You're not trying to shove that down my throat. Okay, and mean, well, you're gonna try this. So what happens is that because of this culture or these cultures, you know, and rather than allowing it or to say, hey, we're at the table with this, I understand you don't. I'm not gonna shove it down your throat. Okay, I'm not going to put it out here and expect it. I'm not going to change the whole music industry because I like it. There is far more greater talent. We got Fantasia, we got Christina Aguilera, we got all of these beautiful people that can sing, but we somehow have gravitated to the nonsense, in my opinion. Why? Why have we gone that way? And that's a big question. Huh? We've got way too much
talent. That's why you have to think about it. That's why the industry have all the different genres. You have hip hop, you have R&B, you have all of those things. So it gives you those options to be able to say, if you don't want to listen to hip hop, don't listen to hip hop. You want to listen to just R&B, listen to R&B.
But the problem.
But my thing is this. For those artists, and this is I feel like there are people who work with these artists that should know when you're going into situations of that nature or any event that you should. I'm always thinking, do they know the seriousness of the event and the audience? Now, I don't have I like Megan Thee Stallion because I like her story because what she came from a situation of a single parent home. Then she had, she went through her period of, strip club, and then once she found her niche in music, she went back to school. Once she found her success in music, she went back to school and got her diploma, got everything that she needed. And, situations happen. Life happens. You make choices, and next thing you know, people are targeting for your choices. But my thing is, and we're talking about the Tory Lanez, but I didn't want to get into that tangent because that situation was a misogynistic situation that people like to still throw at Megan Thee Stallion. But my thing is, with this situation, when you have people who should know, we're going into a political event right now. What is important? What are we trying to get across? It's the same thing with I know my history, right? I know because the civil rights movement was based on what are we still trying to get across to a wider audience. We cannot go walking into this blindfold and know that this is what they're going to expect. We have to make it more of a surprise attack. And I feel in Megan Thee Stallion situation, her impact would have been so much more impactful if she would have just came out there by herself, said a word, threw a few rhymes into a song, and then said, "Y'all know what? It might have not worked, but you know what? It would have got me to realize. It would have got me to say."
But you think about it, though, darling. You are almost 40.
Yeah.
So when you hit those ages, your shift is different. So she is not studying the 30-something, 35 to 40 people. Because she know that we pay attention to certain things. You're trying to reach these ones who are now at the age to vote. Yes, everybody know if you have your opinion about Megan coming out and doing whatever she did, great, fine, and wonderful. But at the end of every day, the biggest thing she came out and she had a crowd. She turned out a crowd of people in that stadium. Her stadium was packed from the rim. Harris had a packed stadium, and she delivered a message to those people, and she gave them what they needed, so they can be able to make their decision, however they choose to make it. That was that's why I said we focus on the wrong thing. We're focusing on Meg, and if we talking about the message, this woman gave a hell of a powerful fucking message out there on that platform. Harris, she gave a
Harris.
She gave a hell of a freaking
Kamala, yes, okay. Now,
yes, that's what I'm saying. She gave a freaking powerful message about that. But the thing about it is this: you think about this in that stadium. This y'all, we've all lived in Atlanta, Georgia,
right?
Okay. Mm-hmm. If she say, I'm coming to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm coming to do this press thing, guess what's only going to be in that stadium? Guess who all she's going to meet? She's only people she's going to reach. She wouldn't have had a packed stadium. That's one.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. She
wasn't if she wasn't going to have a packed stadium. Not as big. That was a whole arena. She packed to the rim from all kinds of people.
Right, I wouldn't put that much weight on Megan's performance. Okay, no, I wouldn't do that.
No. I'm saying, as far as our younger generational people.
Right. Okay.
Or wherever the case may be. If she stated that she just coming.
You mean Kamala by herself?
If she just stated, I'm coming to Georgia, you guys.
No, she would. No, they would have been there. Trust, they would have been there. The people, the voters, and the ones that want to see a change happen, and not Trump get in, they would have been there. So we cannot put that much clout on Megan in this type of situation. Yes, she came as a personality, but not as a personality is a difference than coming in as somebody that's presenting a political platform. Totally different.
So I have a slew of nieces and nephews, and I have a lot of young kids around me.
Right.
A lot of young kids, because I can appeal to young kids.
Right.
It does.
And I took a poll to it, and they stated I would not come to see just her. Because it's boring to me at that point.
And we talk about this all the time.
And it's not only us. It's not only us. You had when you look at that arena, you had every race of people inside of that arena. Every race of people. When I say race, I ain't talking about the older, the young ones. You had every race. So now you have been able to pull them in, gain their attention. Now I can get up on this stage so they can receive the message. That's just like when people go to church. Guess what? You have the choir, you have the praise team, and then you have the pastor.
Right.
That's true, because you know what, we vouch for more entertainment than the information that we need. Yeah, but the saddest thing about it is, though, and this is just me, that why did it have to be only that soundbite? That's just me. Because at the end of the day, that was a clear indication to tell whoever didn't go and those who didn't see, we told you so. This is what they're trying to promote.
That was my whole thought.
And I'm sorry. And people, and I hear what you're saying down there, but see, people don't understand why the consequences why social media and media is so impactful and so powerful, because that's all they see. They didn't hear what she had to say before. They only heard a few tidbits, and then she went back down and she just went bump, 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 bump. And next thing you know, that's all we heard was Bad and Bougie. It's not bad. It's not Bad and Bougie. What was the song?
Bodyguard.
Thank you. But it is. But to be honest with you, as much as impactful as her presence on that stage in that auditorium was, it's just always the dog and pony show of them always showing her, and especially a lot of Black women, in that light. And Black women are more than just twerking.
That's my
Black women are more than just getting on their knees and backing it up. They have a voice. They have something to say. But that is what I'm trying to get at. Meg was promoted more than Kamala. Kamala was not even to be seen or to be heard. It was more like, why Megan doing this? Why Megan doing that? That was it was just a situation where it was going to be a dog and pony show for that moment, for them to say, I told you, this is what they're all about. They are ruining society with this crap, and this is what Kamala is promoting to our young people. That is the conservative viewpoint that is now going out.
Hold your point, dude. We got to go to a quick break. We'll pick it up. We got to move on. We can't talk about this all night. We'll be right back after this break.
It's the truth behind the truth.
Magnetic force that is pulling me down. Yeah, I'm trying dumpster or demolition call. Yeah. Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Lovely lively conversation by Miss Stallion. Anyway, finish your quick point there. We have got to move on.
Well, the whole thing, I just say this, is that whether Meg was appropriate or not appropriate on the factor of it, everybody say they didn't see anything. Majority of the people are that, and you don't see it because of it, because they're on TikTok, love. She had over 4 million youth on TikTok promoting her message. She took over TikTok. She had the most streams on TikTok in Atlanta, in her Atlanta, in the presidential history. So apparently, it sounds like she did her job. She did a great strategy for Atlanta, Georgia, because Atlanta is a hard state.
And to your point, yes, I mean there are always situations that we can benefit from. Okay, I mean there's just no question about that at the end of the day. But we'll end it with this. I liked how what Dee just said a minute ago, that what this still represents to all old heads or whatever the case may be. I am just so tired of. It's enough that women of color consistently are discredited for who they are and what they're about, and then we have to sing about that being discredited. I'm sorry, I will not like that, and I will not accept that for women of color. I just won't. I get what you're saying, and respectively about the amount of people that's there, in that, and let's really hope that benefits this, Kamala's election, and getting her into office. But I think that women of color has to stand for something in this country, because they're consistently beat down. We just lost a girl to the police at the same time that this event was going on, pretty much, in light of that, for the police coming in here shooting a woman of color, in her home. Okay, because they thought that she was going to throw a pot of water on you. Really?
She had a conversation. She had a conversation about that too while she was there.
Yeah. And
she used that as the factor of why they needed police. That he didn't need to be able to be in office, because he wanted to allow the police to be able to just have free reign, basically.
And getting away with situations like that. So it's, and this is one thing, like what we've titled our show, completely. Like today's show is just titled, "What in the hell is going on?" Okay. And navigating your life in America. So we are talking about navigating your life in America, audience. We certainly are. Giving collective opinions, that's what we're about, so that we can expose those truths behind the truth. Okay, and bring that to you, and of course, you making a fair decision on what's best for your life. We're strong opinionated about certain situations, which we have a right to be, just like you do. At the end of the day. But go ahead with your point. We got.
I want to say this too. And I support her stance and Megan Thee Stallion's stance and women having ownership over their body, because how can you support a party that will tell a woman, the creator of life, that she's inferior? Right. Any civilization, any society who believes a woman is inferior, and she's the one that creates life, is the problem. And if you would support, and I, regardless of what she did or whoever would have did that too, I'm still going to have support for Kamala, because at the end of the day, the situation is as clear as a clear blue sky. You cannot support evil like that. I cannot support anybody who believes that a woman should be raped and still have her baby. And not see the situation of a human being that has to deal with having to take on the burden of somebody molesting and raping and having to carry that life. Now, it's okay. I feel like at the end of the day, that person should have a right to make a decision over what she thinks is right for her body. And if I think, if that's the case, If the twerking was enough to get the attention, it was enough. But in my own personal opinion, I just felt like it should have been switched. But if somebody needed to see her twerk to get the message, twerk, baby, just keep on twerking. That's all I can say. But at the end of the day, I just want to say, as black women have more than their thighs and their hips.
Their thighs and ass.
They have
But honey, they're showing it because therefore it's more black women that are business owners, the doctors, and all this other stuff
and
than
that's
it is
true. Men. And that is true.
But you know, and your message is really good. We're just emphasizing the African American community, but for all women. All women are more than their thighs and their hips. They have a voice. I mean, and the level of disrespect that is just reigning through this country over women in general is horrendous. When you got a clown on the other side, what do they call them? What do they call them on the view?
Orange.
No, not that.
Agent Orange.
You know the one that's
I hate to say that.
The one that's following behind Donald Trump on a chain. What's his name? What is
JD Vance.
Oh yeah. What do they call it?
Just Dumb.
Just Dumb Vance. That's who it is. You know, following behind Donald Trump on a chain. Okay. You know, to what he said out there at the end of the day, it should have been completely shut down.
Cat women.
Can you believe that? He should have been shut down right then and there. Every woman that was in that rally, but they the ones that walk around like we talking about Megan. These other set of women that walk around what Trump can grab my PSA. Trump can grab my PSA.
Right,
I'm not saying what it actually means.
That's an issue right there.
You know, I mean, really, or Mr. President, my PSA is yours. You can have it at any given time. Now we have been talking about Megan Trixie, but let's just shift it just for a second, talking about that bullshit. Okay, really, ladies, really. No. So you've got 4 men typically most of the time on this show defending the principles and what you're going through, but you will allow orange jackass with a monkey chain behind him. I'm saying it, okay? A monkey chain behind to speak to you like that, like he is, and call you basically the lowest thing on the planet because you won't get pregnant and you won't have a baby. Really? Oh man, you need to get the flick out of here and go somewhere.
Only a certain few.
Well, yeah, it is on. But again, it's this few that's out here.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fueling this type of thing. You know, into the community of young people. We have young people on every side. You know, at the end of the day, you got the young potential Republican girls that sitting there listening to that bullshit coming across all the time. You know, so this is not a biased conversation. We're just talking about speaking facts about what's out that's going on. But I'm saying to the ladies, we got to move on. We got to talk about this Trump and the Kamala word and stuff. I'm just saying, ladies, we love you, okay? Because without you, none of us would be here. Number one, okay? So keep that in mind. And the abuse, the verbal, the physical, you know, all of this, okay, is just it just bugs up. I'm about to say something out of me, all right? Because see, you all don't deserve this. You shouldn't even have to fight for your body in the sense that you're having to go through. It is your body. You decide what happens and what. Hey, no good men, don't be bothered with them. Just get rid of them because you're worthy. You're worthy. You're not. You are. How can I say this? You are so worthy of not these trifling ass men that want to get in your place, in your business, and that's women straight across the board. You are worthy. Shut it down, girl. Shut it down. All right, please. All right, you guys are too beautiful for this. Let me move on. I want to see something I want to say right now. All right, so the situation that came up on ABC News this week with the interview situation with Trump and the black journalist and the
National Association of Black Journalists,
okay, which got a lot of press on top of a lot of press, and kudos to Rachel, what her name is that with ABC and how she pushed Rachel Scott, thank you, pushed the narrative about that and really went forward and just told that man, you know, like, you need to stick to the questions, okay, and answer the question. Did you not say this? Did you not say this? Did you not say that? I loved it. Okay, and this is what needs to be pressed from that man. He can't run from it because you're being very disrespectful to me. I was like, what the fuck? You talking about somebody being?
But did you see what he did to her?
Huh?
Yeah, I saw.
Did you see what he did to her?
Bottle of water.
No,
yeah. He reached over and tightened up that bottle of water, and that right there.
As if to do what? Like he was going.
And that was one of the main reasons why everybody else was shaking. The lady said, "You gonna wash on?" She says, And she's like, I'm good. I don't have nothing. I don't need to shake his hand. I don't have nothing else to say to him. We're done.
Wow, I missed that part. Go ahead.
But it was based on a tactic of when if she was to ever reach back and pull that water grab that water and try to open it, she wouldn't have been able to open it because he had tightened up the lid so much. But my thing is, even with that situation, you still have Black folks out here, certain ones still facilitating this narrative about who and why Kamala is not to be trusted. She ain't Black enough. She out here being a whore. But you will allow this man who claims that he's either German, Sweden, or Irish, because and to be honest with you, he's German Irish, but for many years he was claiming Swedish because he felt like that his business would have been a lot better if nobody was to know that he was Irish or German. Look, the art of the deal. Because Omarosa brought it up on CNN after that. She brought it up. She said, this man for many years, I worked for this man, said that he was Swedish in his book. And I kept telling people, I said, why in the hell would he have gotten rid of Omarosa? Omarosa, I hate to say this, would have been a great arsenal in his situation. But since he got rid of her, she's got some stuff to get off her chest. But the fact of the fact, that man, it was very disrespectful at that event. He called, he said Kamala, he didn't know Kamala was Indian. He didn't know he kept saying, I didn't know she was Black. I thought she was Indian.
You do.
But the saddest thing about it is we put that out there. He knows the narrative within the Black situation. And then the fact is, when they asked him what was a Black job, he couldn't get a clear answer out because he knew that his foot was to the fire. What's a Black job?
Any job. He said any job is a Black job. Yeah. Now any job is a Black job.
Oh, trying to clean it up. Okay, trying to clean it up.
I love the best way he knew how to lie.
Exactly. Yeah. I love Simone Biles' posts. Okay, and we're going to talk about Simone Biles later on, but just a wonderful, wonderful woman of color that's all on top of the world.
She did a wonderful job.
Wonderful job on top of the world.
I know about her husband because they giving her husband the business. But keep going. I feel bad.
Wonderful. But I love what one of her posts is. She said, "I love my Black job." I said, "Go on, girl." Being on top of the world.
I like the post when Kamala put out the fact that she said I'm turning around. I'm stepping into my Black job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why it's just coming up like this is because this narrative, okay, and unfortunately, this is something I said on the show about 3 weeks ago during the debate, which I did not like on either side, when that question came up, and both of those candidates at this time, President Biden was in there, and what I saw, I didn't like. I'm gonna say on both sides, I did not like it. Okay, because it was like there was a rally around the fact of these lower end paying jobs were being taken from Black people. And I did not like it. And what I saw at that point, I saw just like two white men in that case slapping hands together and say, yes, we got it. Right? But hold on. But I understand how it came out because somebody said, well, they didn't mean that. No, that's what one of them meant. Mm-hmm. All right. That's what one of them meant. All right, now I won't, lay that on that thing on President Biden in full. But of course, we know that he wasn't, all his faculties weren't all of that. But then here was another opportunity that he missed because he should have corrected that. He should have corrected that man right there on that stage about that statement when it was made. But hindsight is 2020. But this is why this whole situation about Black jobs has been still circling around.
Wait a minute, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but. How the hell did Fox News anchor Harris Faulkner? Now she was the one that brought up that Black enough question to. Now that was the fool. She was the fool that facilitated that question towards him because Fox News, they infiltrated that whole entire event with her in the midst of all of that going on because she was there on the stage with Trump. She was the one that was giving Trump all of this ignorance, these crazy ignorant questions. And my thing was, how did that happen? Why did the committee at the National Association of Black Journalism, why did they allow that to happen? That was so very not cool. And then they didn't even give Kamala a chance to do a Zoom call. They didn't give her time to get there. They didn't make time for her to get there. They just
Well,
allow.
that's who she gonna debate with. Fox.
Oh,
The debate in September is gonna be going through Fox.
wow. Is that official now?
It's official.
I can't wait. Let's see if she got something up her sleeve because she's gonna have to go hard.
It's already set, September 4th.
Go hard.
Yeah, she's gonna have to go hard. But like I said,
And she said that she is ready, baby. She said she said, listen, I'm gonna put my prosecutor hat back on.
Every poster she put out there, I've been saying that she's gonna tell you I'm a new ass. But go ahead.
I was gonna say,
she said she put her prosecutor hat back on.
Get the women that he grabbed and put them on the front row. Put them on the front row. If you listen to my words, front row. That would solve. That would help the situation. I'm just saying.
You say Fox call us in. Anyway, we got a quick break coming up, and we're gonna dig in a little bit more. I want to talk about stage play. Yeah, definitely. Talk a little bit about it. There's a post that Larry Reid put out again. We got to do our little religious shift. I kind of shared it with the group on that, but just the political perspective and what people are saying. All right, we will be right back after this commercial break. See you in a second.
If you need a pickup car, yeah. If you need a dumpster or demolition car, yeah. Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
All right. Oh, yes. Welcome back to the show. Yeah. I was gonna see if we could mention that in a little bit tonight. Erica Ashe, man, this was a surprise this week. It really was. I mean, I'm honored that I had an opportunity to work with her, on a great show. I don't know why Stars got rid of that show. I really don't. It was just such a great show. But I remember my buddy Ron Rico Lee. The day I was on set with him and her, and he introduced this my buddy a long time ago, and she threw her. She said, "You're a friend of Ron Rico. You're a friend of mine." She gave me such a big hug, and we hung out mostly all evening that night, just laughing and having a good time and raiding craft services. It was so. This was a shock, but I didn't really realize that. You never know who's dealing with people dealing with illnesses in secret. And a lot of times it gets them, and then unfortunately, before we find out about it, it's always at the other side. So well wishes to a wonderful, wonderful actor. As leaving a great legacy, a great powerful legacy in her acting community, and that power will reign around us. For a long time. It's Erica Ashe. Yes, definitely. But anyway, sliding into this conversation, Darnell, you may want to pull it up if you can, if you hadn't seen it already. I posted with everybody. This, let me say this. I hope Larry hears this. Okay, Larry, I'm a big fan of yours. Okay, every post you got up, or whatever, I'm always listening because I love the fact that one of his taglines. I'm not promoting your show, because you ain't promoting mine, but no, that if you want something, bring it to Larry Reid. Okay, great, and he really has a pretty much non-biased religious take on a lot of things that he talks about, but the one thing I said in the post that I said to him, that guys, if you want to see what I wrote, you can go to Instagram and pull up Larry Reid about his political perspective, or go to my post and see it as well. Anyway, he really, in this explanation, he danced around the separation of church and state. Okay. And I listened, I not listened, but I read and read again. And I said, okay, Larry, you're really dancing around this one. So I got to tell you, you didn't really want to I'm going to say, offend your base in terms of this, because the way I took it is that he danced around the idea of saying that America is, in fact, not a Christian country. Okay, it is not a Christian country. We have been over this tons and tons of times. Okay, but in the heat of this political era of where we are, it is the servicing question, because the far whatever distance they are at this point, is trying to push this consistent narrative is that our decisions, what we're doing, is because they're the values that this part of the Republican Party stands for, because we have a Christian ethic, moral value. Well, you don't, okay? Because you can call, what was that in Wyoming? What was that the convention they had? Wisconsin? Yeah, was it Wisconsin?
Yeah.
The convention. So, but see, if that alone, see, Grindr will tell you something different, okay, about your Christian moral.
Are you talking about the RNC convention?
Yeah, the convention. I'm just bringing that as a point, of what I say. So Grindr will reemphasize that and tell you a little bit more that you really don't. Okay, but let me say my point. Then you go ahead. So what Larry said, okay, was he, like I said, he skillfully danced around it, and I know that he probably didn't want to, directly offend his audience, okay, because he can, and I like that because he comes straight. But my point was, okay, if we talk about this place being the land of the freedom, however you necessarily want to put it, then religion is a place of freedoms. So Christianity has a freedom. Islam has a freedom. Buddhist has a freedom. Hindu has a freedom. And the list goes on. Those that want to worship the way that they want to. Christian people, stop. Okay, just stop. Number one, you're not gaining any ground for the kingdom in your behaviors, okay? And if you want to read my post, that's what I told you. You're not gaining any ground at all by trying to stand up. Well, I'm standing up for my moral principle and, so on and so forth and what have you. No, you're not. Okay. Actually, you're doing more harm to the kingdom, actually, than you are benefiting it. Okay. Because you're lacking love. But go ahead, your point.
I just think that what he's selling is another form of white supremacy.
Okay.
And, when it boils down to the Christian right, they do not think of anything that impels to being equal.
Okay.
Because of the fact that religion is all based on control. Now, we talked about Megan Thee Stallion. We talked about the fact that there are certain preferences that we don't want to see and all that other jazz. But that comes with, that's one thing I don't want this country to go into, a religious control state. Because if you have that, you don't have no freedom to do anything else but to believe in that one doctrine and that one doctrine alone. And I hope to say this: anybody who serves or supports a religious cult like that, I don't see that as being humane. I don't see you being humane about having any type of humanity about situations where there might be a difference in opinion about what we call incest, rape, racism, misogyny. All of that comes with the simple fact of wanting people to be controlled and to feel control over a book that some people don't believe that is true. Absolutely. And that is their belief. Right. I don't want nobody to be forced to believe in what I think is my spirituality or my religion. Right. I don't want to enforce that, because that is just not American. I'm just saying, right. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Darnell? Do we lose you? Darnell, go ahead. What's your point?
Oh yeah, it was what's I listen. Like I just believe that people should let people be people. When it comes down to it, nobody should have to be conformed to the idea of anyone else's opinion or thought of what they should do or should not do. I think if we had to live that way, we would be quite miserable.
Right.
I think that because you think about it, to live the life in which we live, or whatever the case should be, and think about if you had to go back into being this closeted person.
True.
And you wouldn't be able to love the way you want to love, or whomever you chose to love, or whatever the case would be. That would be quite something, because we lived at that time at one point in time.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
if you come from small rural areas, and some people are still that way.
Right.
However, so I don't know. It's just crazy, and I'm with you. Sometimes Larry, he's always trying to appeal to
The
the
Southern Christian.
Christian people, yeah, and don't want to step on toes. But sometimes you have to say what needs to be said, and if
Right.
it offended people, oh well, you know. But
So be it.
you know, I get it. He has a following that he has to be able to keep in place to pay his bills and everything else. So I guess, you know,
Yeah,
if you
I
like it,
get
I
you.
love it.
I get you. Well, guys, it has been a lively conversation tonight. You know, we thoroughly enjoy bringing the truth behind the truth to you each and every week. To open up doors, open up cans, whoop ass if it need to be, whatever it needs to be to help you navigate your life in America. And I'm so glad that we thought of that as our title shows. You know, until our season wraps. I think we wrap in another week. We got one more week with you guys. We got right on the middle of August. I think we wrap for a week, and we'll be gone about 4 weeks. We'll be back at you with season 5. So, we're installing some good stuff for season 5. Boy, I'm telling you. So, but yeah. So, thank you for tonight. You know, if it's not appealing to you what we're talking about, we understand. But I promise you this: if you go back and take the time to listen, okay, you'll find something that you can agree with that will help elevate your life into another place. That's our goal. Okay, if we had a conversation that everybody agreed with, even among us, if we agreed, what kind of show would we have? You know, what kind of show do we can have? The idea of disagreement is to find harmony in your disagreement to agree. If you have to walk away and say, "Hey, I agree to disagree," you still agreed. Okay, and that should be your end result. Not that I disagree, I'm gonna fight, want to kick your ass. Come on, really? You know, so let's focusing on developing harmony among everybody, especially in this state of division. Division of what's going on in America right now. You know, because of the political front. Okay, hey, in this camp, you know, it's Kamala. Now, if in your camp it's going to be him,
she just spoke again a few minutes ago.
Oh wow.
She spoke a few minutes ago, and she stated, but we'll talk.
Okay.
No, I was just saying, she stated we were talking about the fact of the debate, and he's trying to stick to Fox News, and she said, no, we're not sticking to Fox News. We're going with ABC, and it's going to go if you're there or not.
All right, Madam President. Okay. All right, Madam President.
And People Magazine just posted.
Set the tone.
But yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to say this, guy. I know we got to wrap. Engineer, I'm sorry. I meant to say this. I know we got to wrap. The one thing I love this. That's something kind of dumb. This is really a neat or cute thing. They did a brief interview with former President Jimmy Carter and his later, you know, points or whatever. And it's going to be in People Magazine. That he said basically he's going to stay alive to see Kamala win.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, he said I need to be alive long enough to vote for
her. Okay. So he's going to stay alive long enough to see Kamala win. So, hey, President Jimmy, I applaud you, you know, and because of who you are and never, you know what, this man, you know, for whatever y'all thought about it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
you know
more courage than Larry Reed. And he still holds his Bible studies.
Okay. Whoops. Uh-oh. Yeah, he did. Okay. And the one thing about him is that he stayed true to his faith, but he never pushed his faith on anybody else. He lived his faith. Christians, y'all need to live your faith. Because if you live in your faith right, people will recognize it in the universe. That's the message for today. The universe will open up and give you opportunities and grant you long life. All right. We love you guys. We'll see you again next week on what? The truth behind the truth. Good night.
Good night, guys.